Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Tech Empowered. This is a podcast by Tech4Dev where we create opportunities for economic prosperity through digital skills empowerment advocacy. I am your host, Yemisi, and I'm so glad you're here. On this show, we share real stories of people across Africa and beyond whose lives have been transformed by technology. There's an African proverb that says, anytime you wake up is your morning. It reminds us that it's never too late to change your path, to start over, or to chase a new dream, no matter when the realization comes. Some journeys begin with clarity, others with confusion, and then there are journeys like Patricia's, built on courage, curiosity, and a decision to begin, even when the path wasn't clear. Today, we are sitting down with Patricia Oko. With no background in tech, she took a bold step into product design through the Women Techsters Bootcamp and later through the Women Techsters Fellowship Class of 2024. From managing schoolwork and deadlines to battling imposter syndrome and still showing up, Patricia's story is one of grit and growth. And you're going to get to meet Patricia shortly. So settle in and let's get right into the conversation for today. Hello, Patricia. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Yemisi. It's a pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's start from the beginning, right? Who is Patricia? Beyond your bio and resume, how would you describe yourself, your background, and what makes you tick?
Okay, my name is Patricia Ofu. I'm a product designer and a product manager, creating for identity, systems, and experiences. As a UX designer, I like to see myself as a problem solver, using designs to improve lives and create meaningful digital experiences. What really makes me tick is seeing how ideas can be transformed into something tangible that impacts people. As a young girl building a global career in tech and non-profit leadership, my strategies are embedded in the power of education, community, and technology to change lives. And I've spent the last 2 years running community engagement activities. Beyond design, I'm driven by learning, collaboration, and growth. And I love challenging myself to evolve, not just as a designer, but as a person who contributes to the society. And aside from work and every other thing in between, I love to read. So I read for three reasons: one for my heart, one for the brain, and one for the vibes.
For the vibes?
Yeah.
What's for the vibes? Can you explain that? What does for the vibes mean, Patricia?
What I mean for the vibes is I'm an avid reader. I've always loved to read like from childhood. I think like I might have had like a very boring childhood because I didn't play games. My mommy did it and I was go outside to play with other kids. So what I usually do as a kid was just read novels. I had this particular novel I read constantly every single time. So I just grew up to love reading. And as time goes on, you know that they say Africans don't read. And if you see yourself as someone who loves to read books and in the midst of people who do not actually like or love reading books, they kind of see you as someone that is just boring and all. So sometimes when you meet other book lovers, even if you have not read the books that I've read before, or as much books as you want to read, there's just this feeling of when someone say, "Have you read this book?" You, even if you have not read it, you're going to say, "Yes, I've read it off." You just try to follow with the vibes and everything just to feel among.
Interesting. Yeah, so I think that's commendable. Sha. Reading is I would say quote and unquote a lost art. We don't read as much as we used to anymore, and there's a really large book reading or whatever community on Instagram. So there are like some hashtags that if you follow, and then you just see fellow book lovers, and then you can just share ideas and relate with them. So fantastic. Do you have a book review account? Because I know that people that like to read, they like to also review books. Maybe not everybody. But at some point in my life, I created a book review account that, never took off. So is that something that you have dabbled in or you plan to?
It's actually something that I'm into. So I have this account, Ink of Thoughts. It has not actually
Aha!
been active, but I know I
You see,
have.
I knew it.
Yeah, on Instagram. I'm also part of
Yeah.
a large reading community. I don't really know reading parts, an African reading community.
Oh,
I
that's
actually
great.
happen to serve as the Southeastern coordinator for reading parts. So,
Ushi,
yeah,
you see, I knew it. That's cool. That's cool. Please, you shared this your ink for thoughts. You said maybe I'll look out for you
yeah,
on Instagram. Interesting. Well done.
right.
Okay, so you didn't begin in tech, like you don't have a background in tech, but somehow product design became your path. What sparked your curiosity at first? Was it like a moment? Was it a person that said, "Oh, I think you should explore product design," or was it a problem that you wanted to solve? What was that thing that started the whole product design journey for you?
Hmm. Personally, I'm thinking about it. I don't think there was any particular thing that actually led me into product design. I was just exploring. So growing up, I always dreamt of becoming a medical practitioner, and those early dreams shaped my curiosity and determination. Fast forward to when I gained admission to the university, I wasn't offered any of those my dream courses. And then my uncle said something that I can never forget. So he said
Mm.
something like, Kinika, the course you are doing doesn't matter if what matters is how good you are in your field. So do biotechnology and show the world how good you can be if you have the opportunity to do medicine and surgery. So actually that was
Interesting.
stayed in me, and I wanted to decline the admission at the point, but then I had to continue. So while I was in the university, I was just exploring. Over time, I discovered my passion for digital technology, and I have
Mm.
friends who were in the field already. So I didn't start as a product designer. I actually explored different parts, like started with graphic design on the scratch, then with
Mhm.
graphic design. I think it was graphic design that led me to RTI, because I first volunteered for RTI Great Impact, my learning community, as a graphic designer. So from graphic design, I saw trend in parts like cybersecurity, and I also explored software um, development, data
Development.
analysis. So I also participated in the Women Techsters Bootcamp. All these tracks, I did the bootcamps for almost all these tracks.
Interesting.
And
You
one point,
explored all the different learning tracks.
yeah, I did until
Wow.
I did product design, and then I applied for the Women Textiles Fellowship. So the turning point came when I joined the Women Textile Fellowship in the
Mm.
product design learning track. I just knew that this was it for me, because right from time I love being creative, and design let me with that. I think I actually stumbled on a book where I scribbled something like years back, like 10 years or 11 years back. I didn't know what I was writing then, but I knew there was this book I was writing something, and I said I wanted to be a designer. Then
Hmm.
I did
Interesting.
actually
As
make
far
a
back
list
as
of
10
that.
years ago.
Yeah. So
Wow.
then when I stumbled on that book, I was like, "Ah, I think this is actually my dream, or what I've actually wanted to be." So I love being creative, and design helps me with that. I love that product design sits at the intersection of creativity and problem solving. The blend is just irresistible for me.
Hmm. Interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that. Interesting how 10 years ago you knew, but somehow you forgot. And then that's why they say it's good to write things down, right? Sometimes you forget these things,
Exactly.
and then because you're written them down and you just stumble on it, like, oh, okay, I had this idea. Maybe it's time to explore it. Cool. Thank you for taking us on that journey. Okay, so the fellowship was not an easy, the fellowship is not easy generally, especially if you're a
Yeah.
student and then you have to juggle that with your classes. What was the toughest part of managing both worlds? And what are some of the memories or lessons from this fellowship that has stayed with you till today?
Hmm. So honestly, my fellowship journey is one that I actually appreciate. I mean, it's overwhelming for everybody who went to the Women Textile Fellowship. Nobody will come out and tell you that it was easy. But
Mm.
honestly, it was one of the most demanding for years. transformative experience I've had. And the thing is, when I got the admission for the Women Techsters Fellowship, I was very happy. But then at the point I was in third year, not second year in school, going to third year, a big third year going to final year. I can't quite remember. But then I was, because of the timing for the fellowship, the classes that happens from 10 a.m. to like 2 p.m. Sometimes instead of classes to like almost 3 or 4 p.m. I was actually having double mind. Should I continue with this? I wanted to keep this my own. And if I'm going to be juggling school, because I'm someone who care about my grades, I just didn't want my grades in school to suffer. And I didn't want to miss the opportunity because I knew how I got there. You know how applying for the fellowship is from the first application up to the interview. I did not even know I was going to be selected. And then getting the opportunity, I did not want to misuse it. So someone told me that there is never going to be a better time for me to actually participate in the fellowship. That if I think I'm busy, I was busy then, that I'm going to become busier. And I took the advice. Yeah, I took that advice and I started the fellowship. Like every other person, I was curious, but with the fellowship, but everything about the fellowship was just awesome for me. But balancing the fellowship with school meant that I had to master time management quickly because I had to attend classes. So I think the fellowship discomforted me in so many ways because I love to sleep, but then I stopped sleeping at night because the classes with tech and women textile fellowship is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. And I also have to be in class because I was a student at that time. I don't like AirPods, but I know I use like up to 3 or 4 AirPods during the fellowship period because I always replace my AirPods. Yet I have to use my AirPods to be in class so that I either listen to my facilitator, and also I have to be in my class like in school because attendance was also compulsory. So this was also I was doing. Sometimes on some days I use that on both classes because I will not understand anything. So and I have to go back in the night. I will not sleep. I'll have to burn my night candles, watch the videos back to back so I can be able to do my assignments and also meet up with other fellows in class. And also I have to read because I have to keep up with my grades. So attending classes and joining group meetings, completing design tasks, and still keeping up with the whole assignments and every project done in class. It was really tedious. One of my biggest lessons was resilience. Yeah, learning to keep going even when things got tough. Another standout moment for me was collaborating with people from different countries and backgrounds. It opened my eyes to like global nature of tech, and I really learned a lot. And one thing I really appreciate from the fellowship is the community. I had people who were always holding my hands at any point in time. And I had people from my study group then that if I don't attend class, they're going to reach out. I had people who I could, if I miss classes, I could just reach out to them. Please, I had exams, I could not attend this class. Please, can you help me put me through this? And they were always there to help. So the support for the community was really everything I needed. And I also had, there is this, when we started out, there were people that started the fellowship with so much energy and everything. I was like, these people, do they have the thing they're doing in their life, or is it just silly? Wondering how they are keeping up with this every day they come to class. The truth is, I never spoke in class, so we used to have this section in class when you do assignments. I don't think I ever for one day. So I was part of like those silent people in class, but I make sure what I also did was that I make sure that I always do my assignments. If schoolwork becomes too hectic that I cannot finish my assignments for the fellowship each day, I made sure not to carry any assignments for a new week. That was one thing I actually did that helped me too. So no matter how busy I was, yes, exactly. So I use my weekend, Saturday and Sunday, make sure I do my assignments and watch all the video from the classes I missed, and then so that I'm starting a new week with fresh energy. That was just it for me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, over the course of, since we started this podcast and all the people we've spoken to, and even testimonials and impact stories that we've gotten, I think we realized that the community is a big part of what is a big part of what encourages the participants and beneficiaries to actually complete the program, because you have, and it just shows us the importance of community, right? Having people around
Yeah.
you who are sort of like working towards the same goal, and then you spur each other on and then cheer each other up and all of that. And yeah, so that community thing is a big thing, and we're glad that that's actually, translating into success of the program and even the participants of the program. Okay, so imposter syndrome is something that a lot of young techies, face, and especially techies who probably don't have a background and in tech and they're new to the field, and it's something that many people really don't even talk about enough. Did you ever have those moments of, am I good enough? Do I even know what I'm doing? And if yes, how did you navigate through those moments?
I love this question. So absolutely. I think almost everyone does at some point. We have this moment of self-doubt. For me, it came when I conveyed my early progress to experienced designers who were already in the field, or when I was in meetings and when I stayed interning in meetings, I felt like, okay, I didn't know enough. So what am I doing? So what I like to tell people is that I didn't learn how to design during the fellowship, but the fellowship was everything I needed to help me in my career now. Like it taught me everything I needed to do. So one thing I did is that I made sure I saved those resources from class, because I was actually combining school and the fellowship. It was very difficult for me, but I stayed true. Even during our capstone project, I was really struggling, but it's something I wanted to do. And I was like, I've come this far, I cannot keep up at this point. So I think I started learning design during the capstone project, because I just knew that this is no longer class assignments. This is the project. I have a team that is looking up to me to deliver. So what helped me push through was realizing that learning is part of the journey, and I'm still learning. I feel like continuous learning is a new currency now, even in the
Yeah.
fast pace of technology now, and with AI in the industry. You need to continue learning. If not, AI is going to replace you. Just like many people say. But I feel like AI will not replace people who know how to use it. So AI is more like a co-pilot, and it helps like
Yeah.
automate our work. So what I did was I started celebrating my small wins, finishing projects, including my projects or my portfolio, and getting feedback and improving on it, to surround myself with a supportive communities like Tech4Dev, Code Africa, and women tech makers. So talking with other women in tech helped me see what that I was not alone. You have people share the same experience. Also, even during the tech guest drive, I think the tech guest drive that we did they also helped me connect with fellow students from my school then who were also part of the fellowship. I had this girl from software development learning track. So she was in the fellowship, and I wanted to know, like, I was eager to meet her. So I met her through the Tech Years Drive. So we actually connected, spoke at length. So, because I didn't want to know how she was also navigating school and the fellowship. So over time, I just learned that self doubt, it can actually turn into quiet confidence if you do not let other people's progress, if you do not put yourself or try to how would like it is compare your progress with other people's
With other
progress.
people.
Yes. So one thing you should know when you're starting out is that even if it takes one person 1 year to learn something, it might take you 2 or 3 years. That doesn't mean that you are dumb or that you're not good at it. It's just different people, and things can happen differently for everybody.
That's so true. Thank you so much for sharing that, Patricia. Okay, so looking back now, how did the Women Techsters initiative, both the bootcamp and the fellowship, how did it shape you into the designer that you are today? Were there like some skill set shifts or mindset shifts or confidence shifts? What was the impact of that program on you, and how did it shape you into the designer that you are today?
I like that part where you say confidence shift, mindset shift. For me, it's not just about the technical skills and all. We had soft skills training. Like those sessions was also another, like one of the highlights for me during the fellowship. So women Techsters,
Yeah.
both the bootcamp and the fellowship, they were truly foundational for me. I tell every young girl who wants to learn tech. I even told my friends, like I know I introduced Tech4Dev to some of my friends. Go and take their bootcamp and go and make sure you finish the bootcamp. So women
Mm.
Techsters was really foundational for me. The structure, the mentorship, the reward projects, it gave me both the technical skills and the mindset I needed. And it taught me how to approach problems
Yeah.
as a UX designer from a user-centered perspective and how to communicate my ideas confidently when I'm working with people. So I feel like one thing I actually do in this part of confidence is that when I speak, because of the confidence I have, people think I know too much and then they want to work with me. So it also
Mm.
builds this sense of belonging, knowing that I'm part of a community of women across Africa who are breaking barriers in tech. That network and confidence still carrying me to today. I think the last interview I had, I told someone saw my resume that I graduated from like I took the Human Textile Fellowship course on Tech4Dev and we were like, wow, I only want to meet you and work with you. So that network and confidence still carry me to today, especially when I take on new projects or new jobs.
Mm. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. So you've freelanced and you've worked on real projects with tech organizations, like you mentioned when you were interning as well. Can you tell us about maybe your first real world experience? What was exciting about it? What was challenging? And what were some of the takeaways from that experience?
So the exciting thing for me was that someone felt like I graduated from fellowship and they wanted to work with me. I think that was one interview of being so just because they had tech for the event, the
Oh,
reputation from the
interesting.
yeah. So I was given the opportunity. So actually an intern opportunity. So I was working with them. I think I worked with them for like a year plus years. So one challenging thing for was that I was always shying away from leadership positions during the fellowship,
Mm.
more like study group leads, class leads, and all. But I was made the design lead for the organization, the first organization I worked with. So that opportunity
Wow.
actually, yeah. So it really helped me grow my confidence more and more. And I felt like this is a whole responsibility on me. So I really have to double up so that I can meet up with expectations from both my teammates and the people I was working with.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so my final question to you would be a piece of advice. So for someone listening right now, maybe they feel unsure or they're scared to start or they feel like, oh, it's too late to make a change. What would your advice be to them? Especially someone who is just waking up to say, oh, how do I start? Where do I begin?
My advice would be start small, start anywhere. So you don't need to have it all figured out from day one. Like I said, I didn't have it all figured out. I didn't know what product design is when I started. It was just when I started exploring the boot camp from Tech4Dev. I think the first boot camp I took was actually in cybersecurity because I was really drawn to that field. I took cybersecurity first. I tried data analysis, and then I did software development. I think it was only software development. So that bootcamp was the one I never finished. But every other bootcamp, I completed that. And then I jumped on product design. Okay, what happened was that I applied for the Women Tester Fellowship in the cybersecurity track. And maybe because of my background in graphics design, but I added in my application. So I was not looking for cybersecurity. And then I was offered product design. And
Mm.
I didn't want to do it because I don't know what it was. But I just knew that I had to start somewhere. And that was how I explored product design. So begin by exploring what genuinely interests you. For me, design interests me. So that was why I never got tired in class and I never got tired while learning, practicing on my own. Sometimes I can sit on my system from like 12 a.m. to like the next day, 12 p.m. or 1 p.m., 2 p.m., even without
Mm.
eating, I'm designing. So if it is design that you love, coding or data or something, there are so many free resources and services that are willing to help you. Things like Tech4Dev, they are there for you. And then do what interests you. do what interests you, passion first. Also, don't fear or compare yourself with people. Everyone starts somewhere, and your progress is built step by step. Join communities would really help you grow massively in ways that you do not expect. So ask questions to and try to stay consistent. Tech is vast, but once you find your space, it becomes one of the most empowering journeys you can take.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Patricia. Ask questions, follow what you like, and community. Join the community. Very important. Thank you so much for your time today on the podcast. Thank you for your honesty and your courage and for sharing your journey with us today, Patricia.
Thank you so much, MC. It's a pleasure being here with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Patricia's story is a reminder that growth isn't instant, it's built in small steps, quiet decisions, and the courage to begin again and again. We're so proud that the Women Techsters initiative has been a part of your journey and you're becoming, Patricia. That's it for today's episode of Tech Empowered. If this episode inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs some encouragement. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet to Tech Empowered so you never miss an episode from us. And check out more powerful stories from our previous guests. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and never stop believing in what's possible for you. I remain your humble host, DMC, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.